Katie, something else that was throughout this time that I've noticed in our just working with pastors. As pastors, we are responsible to visit the sick, care for the grieving, walk alongside of them. And a part of it is, helping lay people peacefully to rest. Funerals, if it's kind of what we call it, do funeral services and such. But in the pandemic, in the midst of a pandemic, I've talked to a number of pastors who they've had more than their fair share of laying people to rest, funeralizing people. Personally, we had 3 members of our congregation who passed from COVID. That in itself, the passing was hard. In the middle of a pandemic with the restrictions we had, where we would normally have lots of family around, the family would come together. Even our planning of the services was done more remotely than we would normally do that, which puts us in a whole new world, whole new normal, right? And then the gathering, at the time we had our first COVID funeral, we were under mandates of a certain amount of people in the facility. And so that was hard. And that takes a stress on. So I guess I'm saying a lot of us have faced that, either we have done services for members that we have known who died from COVID, or we have members who have family members that's extended. So there's that direct, and then you have just the normal, I say the normal, but then other general, typical people pass away just from age. They may have passed away from other kind of things. Those things are just so blaring. You talk about the tsunami. That to me is that part of that tsunami. So I have this wave of deaths for some of us because of the pandemic. Then I have these other issues that are coming up. Maybe I have pastors, and many of us know of someone who directly had COVID, and they had a hard battle with COVID. I mean, some had very light symptoms and got through, and some they're still feeling the effect or have the effects of it. And I think that has added to much of the anxiety and the stress. So I guess I'm asking, how do we deal with this compounded, these compounded events that's causing compounded stress? What counsel? What counsel can you give us to, how do we work through this? What do you see?
Yeah, Ira, I think what you're referencing is it can be called a variety of terms, but I think of it as complicated grief or complex grief. Okay. You mentioned compounded. There's a lot of different ways to think about it, but absolutely, it has been a very tough couple of years now. And again, stress was already there before, but now complex and complicated grief. These are situations where we are mourning a loss, grieving a loss, but for some reason or another, it's like that process is inhibited or interrupted in some way, and compounded. So, as far as what are some ways that we can address that, absolutely, I'm going to put a plug for counseling. That's one of the ways that we can connect you with a counselor if you find that you're experiencing that, because you do need to allow yourself to grieve. If you push it down, it's going to come out in other ways, oftentimes somatically. In ailments, physical ailments and so forth. So we definitely want to help individuals address that. Counseling is one way. There are even the grief share groups. There are things that we can get you connected to that don't have to be as intensive as far as counseling related. But one of the things that's helpful, now this doesn't necessarily take away a grieving process, but one of the things that we can all be mindful of that can help us to hopefully walk through a grieving process is just through our things of being really, really mindful of our diet, our exercise, our sleep, and drinking water.
Okay.
Some of the things that are just so common, everyday, natural stuff, and they don't cost a penny. But it's one of those things where we just have to be mindful about it. And if we're not taking care of ourselves in that way, then that compounded, whether it's grief or distress in general, it has more time to fester, so to speak. It has more time to kind of sit there and soak and cause us potentially more problems down the road. So that is, those are some of the easy ways. And if you're not an exercise enthusiast, just walk for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Maybe that's part of your sabbatical time every day. Paying attention to what you're eating. And when I say that, I mean, again, don't go for the bag of Doritos for the second time. Some of us like to eat our emotions.
Yeah.
That texture is eating your emotions. I don't know if you've ever thought of it that way. But there's a variety of things. And what I would say is just try to make healthier choices. Try to cut back on sodas and coffee and any other thing that someone might use to kind of energize or suppress emotions or anything like that, and go to water. Water, our bodies need it for thinking and problem solving and so forth. But water is going to help to detoxify from some of those emotions that we think of as negative. And so it can kind of help to flush out some of those toxins in our body that cause aches and pains and so forth. And then I've already mentioned it and alluded to it, but sleep is really so important. If we can start to think of sleep as our brain's way of kind of like turning on the dishwasher at night, some of us may be in the habit of cleaning the dishes or putting the dishes in the dishwasher to work overnight, to clean overnight. Mm-hmm. Sleep is very much the same way. And if we don't have enough sleep or constantly interrupted sleep, it doesn't allow those wash cycles, so to speak, to really take effect. And we can end up with, just like if you have a dishwasher cycle that doesn't work, you have stuff on your dishes. Yeah. Very similarly, if we don't get enough sleep, that's the kind of thing that happens. Those toxins and those kind of negative types of thinking patterns and so forth can really fester when we don't have the opportunity to take care of our bodies well physically, which also goes with the mental and emotional and so forth. But that's one of the ways to just start to address those things.
So give us those 4 things again.
Sleep probably one of the most important. In fact, I've actually heard someone say that when you're grieving, sleep is one of the first and most important things you need to try to do. Okay. But sleep, your diet, if you don't like diet, think of your food, just your nutrition, right. Exercise, and then water. And
they're all free.
They're all free. Well, food you do have to buy, but
you're going to buy it anyway.
Right. So making some good choices, yeah. But sleep is free.
Yep, I agree.
If you can get it.
If you can get it, yeah. I also would say, to add to those, just some takeaways for us, some call to actions, I would call it. Get connected with your local association. Get connected with a pastor's group. Find a pastor in your association, a group of pastors in your association, a network of pastors. One of the things that early on during the pandemic, we started or connected with a group of rural pastors. What we had in common was we were in a rural context, we were bivocational, and we met by Zoom. Now we got Zoomed out, but we met by Zoom once a week, and just chatted, just shared. It blessed us because we were able to share with each other's congregation. So get connected. Contact, for those of us who are Texas Baptists, contact your area representative. Go to our website at texasbaptist.org or txb.org, and you'll find your area representative, your church starting strategist or the planter. There's a myriad of ways in which you could do, but know that you're not in this alone. Know that you're not the only person that's going through this, and know that someone is here. We're here to walk alongside of you. We're here to walk with you, to help us through this time period. We can't make the issues go away, but we can help as we walk along in that time. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just thankful to all who joined us and just allowed Katie and I just to kind of drop into your lives for a few minutes or more. And if you need us for anything, please contact us. You can go to the website and get a hold of us. You can call the office here at Texas Baptist, and someone will get a hold of us, and we can get back to you. But again, just know that you're not in this alone. We want to be here for you as you continue to go the long haul, that as you desire to seek to bring your church to become Great Commission churches, Great Commandment churches, we want to be here for you. Blessings to you. Thank you for joining us. Katie, any final words? And then we'll let our folks go.
Well, just echoing everything that you've said, I mean, I think we're hopefully modeling for you. I mean, the conversation that we've had,
yes,
previous to today and even today, those are ways for us to be able to support and encourage each other. So it can be as simple as that. So feel free to reach out. Certainly, if you need anything counseling related, you can find me at txb.org/counseling. We have other groups that we might be able to connect you with as well, and certainly programs and different things that we can point you to, resources, if you feel like you need them. So we're here for you.
Amen. Thank you for joining us. Hope to see you soon. Blessings.